Welcome to Ahmed's World Time Trek. In this video, we'll be exploring the early life and education of one of history's most influential figures, Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon's education in France, which lasted for nearly 8 years, played a significant role in shaping his French identity. He began his education at the ecclesiastical seminary in Autun, where he quickly learned to speak, read, and write in French. In 1779, at the age of 10, he entered the Royal Military School of Brienne-le-Château, where he received a comprehensive education that included subjects such as mathematics, Latin, history, geography, and fencing. Despite the Spartan conditions, Napoleon excelled academically, particularly in mathematics, and developed a strong interest in ancient history with a particular admiration for Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar. He also read extensively, including works by Plutarch, Caesar, Voltaire, and Rousseau. Alongside his academic pursuits, Napoleon's education instilled a deep sense of French nationalism and a desire to avenge France's recent defeats, particularly at the hands of the British. Despite his admiration for Britain's military figures such as the Duke of Marlborough and Oliver Cromwell, he was raised to view Britain as an enemy. Additionally, Napoleon had a love for literature, including works by Corneille, Racine, Voltaire, and Ossian. He drew inspiration from these literary works and sought to incorporate elements of heroism and conquest into his own life. In 1781, Napoleon received an excellent school report from the Chevalier de Correillot, who recommended him for the prestigious École Militaire in Paris. However, his intellectual superiority didn't make him popular with his classmates, who teased him for various reasons. Despite facing ridicule, Napoleon remained proud of his Corsican heritage and developed a strong sense of nationalism. He remembered a few teachers he liked but had few friends among his fellow pupils. Napoleon's pride in his homeland made him an outsider among the ruling class at school. The teasing he endured only fueled his determination to stand up for Corsica. His reserved demeanor and contemplative nature further isolated him. The first book written about Napoleon portrayed him as reserved, antisocial, and possessing qualities like bluntness, boldness, enterprising spirit, and even ferocity. The famous anecdote of a snowball fight involving the entire school during Napoleon's time at school is likely a fabrication. It contradicts the idea of his unpopularity among peers, and there's no mention of it in Bourrienne's notes. It's possible that the anecdote was entirely made up by the ghostwriters of Bourrienne's memoirs. The memoirs claim the snowball fight lasted for 15 days and resulted in injuries, but it seems unlikely that a school would allow a potentially harmful game to continue for such an extended period. In June 1784, Napoleon wrote a letter to his step-uncle Joseph Fesch, expressing his belief that his brother Joseph was not suited for a military career. Instead, Napoleon suggested that Joseph pursue a path in the church, which would have provided him with advantageous opportunities. Napoleon's letter, now housed in the Pierpont Morgan Library, contains numerous spelling and grammatical errors but showcases his clear handwriting and his early concern for the careful editing of historical records. In September 1784, Napoleon completed his final exams at Brienne and subsequently enrolled in the prestigious École Royale Militaire in Paris. The institution offered a higher social standing compared to Brienne, with better living conditions, meals, and more staff. While the history of warfare and strategy were not part of the curriculum, the school covered similar subjects to Brienne, along with musketry, military drills, horsemanship, and boasted one of the finest riding schools in Europe. During his time in Paris, Napoleon had limited exposure to the city itself but had acquired knowledge about its landmarks, defenses, and resources through his studies and interactions with fellow officers. Napoleon excelled intellectually and, due to his aptitude for mathematics, chose a career in artillery rather than the navy. Out of 202 candidates from all of France's military schools, only 14 were invited to join the artillery, making Napoleon part of an elite group. At the École, he studied under prominent figures such as Louis Monge, the Marquis de Laplace, and Louis Domerin. Napoleon also encountered new artillery practices and revolutionary tactical ideas promoted by individuals, like Jean-Baptiste de Gribeauval and General Comte Jacques de Guibert. Guibert emphasized the importance of speed, surprise, mobility, and morale in warfare. By the time Napoleon completed his education at Brienne and the École Militaire, he had embraced a military ethos that would shape his beliefs and perspectives throughout his life. While he accepted revolutionary principles such as equality before the law, rational government, meritocracy, efficiency, and aggressive nationalism, he held little interest in concepts such as equality of outcome, human rights, freedom of the press, or parliamentarianism. Napoleon's upbringing instilled in him respect for social hierarchy, law and order, and a strong belief in rewarding merit and courage, but he harbored a dislike for politicians, lawyers, journalists, and Britain. According to Claude-François de Menneval, Napoleon's private secretary, the future emperor left school with a sense of pride, dignity, a warlike instinct, a keen eye for form, a love for order and discipline, and a profound social conservatism. These attributes aligned with the officer's code and contributed to his preference for centralized control, hierarchical chains of command, and the maintenance of high morale. Throughout the French Revolution and his lifetime, Napoleon's core beliefs remained largely unchanged, as he held deep-rooted distaste for anything resembling a mutinous mob. Hope you liked this video and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos on Napoleon in the future.